Hey, what's going on? Happy Sunday. One more again. This is a Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. This is me, your man, the guru, along with Quinn, kept great. And honor of Pride Month, I got my SpongeBob thing happening. Y'all see my SpongeBob, right? Imagination. Yes, I am down with lettuce.
Don't ever do that again.
Please don't do that no more.
What's going on, you guys? What's
Ever
happening?
again.
What's going on? So listen, we're gonna get it started. We got a great show for you guys. We're gonna talk about some good stuff today. Let's get into how was you guys this week, man? Before we get into anything else, how was you guys this week, Quinn?
Okay.
Oh, I was struggling. This was a long, hard week for the boy. I have been dealing with a lupus flare-up since last Saturday. Again, let me publicly apologize to my boy Kev. We discussed it, but I wanted to publicly apologize to him for biting his head off because I've been dealing with these lupus struggles for over 10 years. So I ought to know how to control, when I'm in pain and how I respond and react to certain things. So I want to publicly apologize to him.
Well,
but I struggled this week.
Hey, all right. So what do we do to get past the struggle? We just struggled all week, right? We eventually got over the hump, and
eventually I got over the hump because even though I take medicine and everything for it, sometimes if you ever ran across somebody with sickle cell and how they deal with their how much pain and whatnot they be in, that's my struggle. Like after the show last week, I pretty much had to grab walls to get back to my bedroom and get straight into bed.
Oh wow, that's deep, bro. That's deep. Kev, how was your week, man?
It's good, man. I got a little pain in my back. I pulled a muscle or something. From my shoulder blade.
Yeah,
either that or a nerve. So work was definitely a struggle last night, but I'm getting through it, man. It's nothing. And then Q, you good, man. You're almost. This is how I know I'm getting old because I don't snap back as easy as I used to.
Yeah, that's because
I'm getting old, man. Yeah,
you trying to stay safe, bro. It's okay. It's okay.
So, but yeah, we all good though.
Hey, you know what though? You know what? And the thing is, Kev has it even over the years we've remained friends, but he hasn't been around me like my other homeboys, like Mike and CJ, Aaron, all of them. When I start snapping, and the first thing they'll say, "Bro, you in pain, ain't it?" I'll be like, "How y'all know?" They was like, "Bro, you out of character."
Yep. It's just like the Snickers commercial. You're not you when you're hungry. That's what that is. All right. So listen, before we get into anything else, I want to give a shout out to Ben Sudduth and the guys over there at BS3. You guys can, if you have a Roku device, go ahead and make sure you follow that particular channel, and you can catch us live is Sunday, right here on the BS3 Network. You can follow the group on BS. You can follow the page on Facebook at BS3 Network, and also on YouTube.
So I was looking for the channel on I got the Roku app on my Fire Stick, but I was looking for the channel and the channel wouldn't pop up.
Yeah, you got to go BS3 Network and just do a search for it, and it should pop right up.
I have to put network behind it. Okay,
it should pop right up. All right, guys, let's get right on into it. My favorite section of my favorite time of the show. Here we go. All right, y'all. So look. We're gonna talk about the NBA Finals right now. All right, the NBA Finals the series is tied 2-2, going back to San Francisco. Who you guys got? Is it gonna go 7? Can Golden State go ahead and pull this thing out, or what's going on? What's happening?
I told you, Celtics already showed me what I needed to see.
Who was that?
Celtics at 7. Celtics 7.
Why is that?
Celtics at 7.
Yeah.
When Tatum gets going, and he got going, the only thing that saved them was their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and Steph Curry and his prayer for threes that fell through. Okay, cool. He's gonna have those flurries. He's gonna have those. Celtics will learn to contain that. There will be adjustments for that, but what they can't contain with this, what the Warriors showed me that they can't contain is that Curry cannot guard Brown, Patrick, what's the guy's name? White, from he came from the Spurs, or Jason Tatum.
Okay.
So when you got those three, when they do the pick and roll and they switch, they're driving straight through the lane trying to get fouls, contact, or a layup. So it's going to happen, fellas. It's going to happen.
I don't think so. And I'm going to debunk that. I'm going to debunk that because Tawana, what's that boy name? Andrew Wiggins. He's kind of shutting down Tatum. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that happening.
He's giving him fits. He's giving him fits. He's giving him the problems. You know, and you know,
he's giving him a lot of problems.
But
and I have
here's the thing though. What we're witnessing, because Al Horford is the X factor for the Celtics. Al Horford, and then you also got Marcus Smart. When those two are on the court with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they don't have everybody that can guard all of them. They're too quick, and then when you're guarding them, Al Horford's hitting shots with his terrible form of shooting, but nonetheless, they can get it done. I'm telling you, if y'all would care to put a wager,
ain't nobody like that.
Let me go ahead.
Okay. How do you guys feel about Draymond Green?
I like Draymond. And Draymond, let me just get this out. I'm taking the Warriors, and when I seen why Draymond Green a buster, I'm gonna put this out here for y'all right here. Draymond Green is leadership. He's not on, like, we all know that Draymond is not out of the three. He's not a scorer, but his defense and his leadership, and his leadership is what inspires that team. Like, Draymond is the linchpin that holds them together, that inspires them. Draymond is the inspiration for the team. Curry is the leader of the team, but Draymond, just like you got that guy. Yeah, he the heart of the team. And you know, Draymond gonna say what everybody else can't say. You gotta have that person on your team who's not afraid and who is not afraid to be the bad guy. Draymond is one of them people who would have fit in perfectly in the 90s or whatnot, because he wouldn't have been a power forward or nothing like that. He probably wouldn't have been a starter, but he would have been in the NBA. But what I'm saying is, he would, when it comes to the trash talk, when it comes like people like him and Jimmy Butler, when it comes to the trash talk on the floor, they not trying to be buddy with everybody. Like, they got one mission. We here to bust your ass, and I'm gonna remind you that that's why we're here. What we here to do. Win or lose, you gonna feel me verbally and physically.
Well, you know, with what he said, there's a stat out here. Y'all know I like to throw stats every now and then. And Draymond Green is not their key factor to anything on that team. The key factor is Curry, not even Klay Thompson. And
Curry is the.
And even said he got to have more.
Draymond Green, with not playing the Golden State Warriors without Draymond Green, guess what their win percentage is? 93. So that tells you, because they have Wiseman as their center, they have other people in there. They don't need Draymond, just like they didn't need Kevin Durant. They don't need the only person that they actually would need, and I would agree with what you said earlier, Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson. Those guys got some actual key roles as players.
All right. Well, can we have to step away just for a second? Where we'll be right back. Like that. Just chat overlay. All right. So, okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on real quick. So with Draymond, he has a podcast that he does. And he does every single night, win or lose. What do you think about that? You think he should be concentrating on the game itself, the series, the finals? I mean,
He's
this is
trying.
the big
He's trying
enchilada
to.
here.
He's trying to make himself relevant. Relevancy. Him as a professional athlete. What I think about that is actually, I don't want to say the word asinine. I don't even want to say the. I just think he's not doing what's necessary for the team. He's been absent this whole playoffs. Why? I thought you the man. I thought you was the only thing that he's got going for him in this playoffs, and actually, what I've seen throughout his whole career is passing. He's a really good passer. The guy, I got to give props when props is due. The guy he's probably one of the top passers, power forward and center passers I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I don't see him having a win or lose. I mean, you should. If I was the head coach, I'm sorry, focus. I don't care if you off the court, on the court, when it's playoffs and it's championship, his teammate. If I was a teammate also, I'd say cut that. We gotta focus.
So you're saying that Draymond is cheating his team?
He's not bringing he's not bringing the focus on what's needed for the team. You're already a detriment to the team. You're already not giving what's needed in order for the team to win. Let's be there mentally.
Speaking of cheating, our next thing we finna get ready to get into. The next section is what would you do? What would you do, Kev? What would you do? I'm not sure if you've seen the video, but if you have not seen it, here you go. Ooh.
I get crazy. I get crazy.
The actual woman that threw her boyfriend's mom ashes in the river. Incident happened in 2020 and she was arrested for it 2 years later. According to Texas laws, it is a Class A misdemeanor for abuse to a corpse. The viral video is a skit and not the actual girl.
Boy, I tell you, Kevin, anyone that's watching the video, anybody that's in here live, you can comment if you want to. 5 of y'all in here. Thank y'all for coming through. I appreciate you. Throw a comment there. I want to talk to you. If that was you, what would you do?
I never saw the video.
Never saw the video?
And this is a blind reaction, y'all. I promise. I've read it.
That was totally on point, yeah.
Just reading and what the comments were, I was hot. I was,
Yeah, that was serious.
I love my baby. I know she's taking a nap or whatever, but I love her to death.
Hey, baby.
Yeah. Jesus can't help
her. There were no listen, man. There were no words when I first ran across it on TikTok, and I was like, I know that this girl did not. This is a skit. This is something tragic. This is a prank, And even if it was a prank, though, come on, really, that's not even prank worthy to me. And to me, and my honey, she's in here, she's watching and listening. And listen, I love her. Oh, okay. Thanks, Quinn. I appreciate that, brother. So yeah, when I saw that, I thought about my honey. I was like, man, I don't think she would ever get that mad at me to the point where she would throw. If I had my mother's ashes, which I don't, my mother, because we from the South, we don't do cremations, we do burials where I'm from. So it's very seldom that we get those. So I don't think she would ever get that mad at me to where she would throw my mother's ashes.
My wife Jen would probably kill me and put my ashes with the other ashes
in
an ashtray. In an ashtray with a cigarette.
Yeah, she should have. She should have went behind it.
Hey, that's what I was gonna say. Yo, whoever, I don't mean no harm, bro, but she would have been over that bridge.
Oh, it's harming that.
Yo, she would have been tossed over that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
she would have been. She would have been explaining to my mama.
Sayonara. Why would she? I mean, because now the story is that he cheated on her, and that's the reason why she was angry enough to go and take his mother's ashes and throw them in the river, in the Mississippi River. On top of that happened in Texas. So in the Mississippi. Now
that didn't happen in Texas. The Mississippi River don't border Texas.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. That's what then what was it?
The Mississippi River don't border Texas.
I think it's. I know what you're talking about.
It's Rio Grande.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah.
She's over a bridge. One of them.
So
either way, she should have been in there. Right behind the man.
She would have been. She probably would have met my mom or whoever's ashes they were. You would have been apologizing, in spirit.
Hold on. Because that was intentional. You did it on purpose. You meant to. And I just,
she gonna apologize in spirit. I'm telling you, she ain't gonna have no spirit here on earth. She gonna be apologizing in heaven.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. He drowned me. He drowned me to come apologize to you, and then I might bring her back to earth.
I cannot understand the purpose. But anyways, that's what she did. She got arrested for it because in Texas, that is a class A, like my man said, it's a class A misdemeanor. Disposing of a corpse, you can't do that. She probably got no more than a fine and probably a couple of days, of community service.
I think she probably got more than that. I can actually look into that.
Yeah, I don't know, but either way, I mean, that you better not ever. My mom, Trisha Ann, let me tell you something. Today I would still wear a jumpsuit. Today, still. What are you gonna talk about?
I'm gonna put my own numbers on the back. I got it all printed out, y'all.
Now, Kel, check this out. I'm gonna get into something else here. Hold on one second and run my stuff. I was the other day. I was running across TikTok, like I'm always scrolling on TikTok, right? And one of my favorite TikTokers, her name is Keita Rose, right? And she was doing a video. She did a duet of a video from this young lady who had very interesting things to say about big women. Check that.
Men are not financially confident. That's who they run to, the bigger girls, because most big girls are going to have good credit, have some money, and be able to help take care of them. Smaller woman says, oh, I have to carry that load. Oh, I got to take care of her. Bigger woman says, she going to help me. She going to put this load over her back. So
this narrative says, because I'm a big woman, nobody will ever want me, and because nobody will ever want me, I'll get what I can get. And if that means that I have to pay a man for his presence, I absolutely will. And that narrative is absolutely false. There are plenty of men that are attracted to bigger women. Y'all might not like big women, but a skinny man gonna step for them every time. If a broke man decides to use a woman for everything she has rather than go look for a job, he's gonna do that for any woman that'll allow him to, whether you're big or small. Larger women don't have a problem finding love, so how about you say what you mean to say? I don't like big women. I don't find value in them. And I believe that anybody that does must be getting paid off. Paying a man to be in your life is more about how you feel about yourself, and it has nothing to do with your weight. Let you decide, is this a reach or a preach? Let me know.
What are you thinking? Is it a reach or the teach? What you thinking? Anybody watching? Maybe if you still listening, is that a reach or a teach?
That's a reach, and definitely I'm with Keita Rose on this one. She came with. She said, say it with your chest.
Whole chest.
Ooh, the whole chest. I put my chest in, man. Look, man. Like she said, if you don't like big women, just say that.
Just say that.
Just say it. Just say it. What's the problem? What like Martin Lawrence would say? What the problem is?
What the problem is?
and what I don't like with this lady she just put a narrative and division into skinny women and big women. And I ain't got no discrimination on what body size you have. I've loved and I've lost every size, color, different woman. And ain't nothing wrong with a big woman. Ain't nothing wrong with her.
Let me tell you something. Mine ain't big.
Mine ain't big either. I love my plump on my woman.
My wife is pleasingly plump. I love my wife. Just like she loved me. Well, you is stupid, but I can't stand. I cannot stand that narrative. I really can't. But I will say this though. When I first started dating, and that was my aim. My aim was a bigger girl because I knew that I wouldn't get rejected. Or at least I thought I wouldn't get rejected.
Right.
I've always and that didn't have anything to do with her per se. That was all me because I had the issue of self-esteem. My self-esteem was crap, right? So I felt like I couldn't get, the dime piece or the 10. I couldn't. I couldn't get that.
So let me ask you this then. I want your honest opinion. Would you say that was more of your taste in women at the time, or that played more of a factor, on how you chose a woman, or was it more, like whatever comes along?
At the time, to be honest, to be frankly and perfectly honest with you, I didn't have a taste. I didn't have a taste. I just knew as a man, I wanted to be wanted, right? I just had that need. I didn't have a taste. It didn't matter. You could have been, morbidly like 500 pounds. I might would have hollered at you at 500 pounds. I don't. It didn't matter to me. As long as I was happy with you, it didn't matter. But it was just. But my aim was because it's just like the girl said in the beginning, and she just got a point. There are some men that target bigger women because they don't have to worry about, like I said, being rejected and worrying about whether she's gonna cheat or whatever like that. I mean, so I had that same issue. I just wondered, and I read that video because I was wondering if that was a reach or a teach, and which one of the queens you rolling with. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Keita Rose.
Shout out to Keita. I like how she's. I'm gonna have to go follow her. I like how she put it. I mean, and she didn't just say because she's big, and she don't look big to me, but she said if you didn't like us big women, just say that. And what I just like how she respectfully told her, "Hey, fuck off." That's pretty much because like I said, you can't speak for us men. On top of that, I hate when women do that. You can't speak for just because you got some daddy issues or man issues. Don't speak for us. Let us men speak for us. We can't speak for you, so don't speak for us. So this is definitely a reach. And again, shout out to Keita Rose, man. She looked like she's got some really good content based on just that. I'm definitely gonna try to look. I haven't been on TikTok like that. Going randomly.
She's on Facebook too.
Yeah. So I mean,
she's dropping nuggets.
She looked like she do. I like how the edits and everything pop up, but everything was crisp. I like how she really put it out there.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't like us?
And what's funny about Keita is that I used to way back in the day, well, not back in the day, but maybe last year, she used to do all her TikToks in her car, and she had a little mini mic, kind of the smaller version of what these. And so she would come on, she was like, "Hello," and she'll start. Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
Oh wait, I remember seeing her before. She gets on there with like a British accent.
Yeah, she was like,
"Hello."
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she would drop it. My baby said, "Where do you spend your time?" Then Kev, it ain't Facebook with all the fans. Kevin stay in Facebook jail. He can't help it. That's right. That's all right, man. We still
why I gotta go put my business out there like that, Miss Little?
Man, that's public record, bro.
That is not okay.
That is
not.
public
Ain't nobody
record.
see
I
that.
promise. Don't do that. That's public record. All right.
My feelings.
We love you, man. We love you, man. Listen. All right, so we're gonna get to the next topic real quick. Hold on one second. All right, so you guys are aware that the January 6th committee has convened, and they are looking at the January 6th insurrection and what caused it. How do we get there? What do we do from here? Whatever. Now, I was reading an article just the other day that the January 6th committee has enough evidence to indict President Trump. So here's my question, though. Think they will?
Nope. They're gonna do whatever it takes. Money runs everything. He's gonna throw some dollars at whoever. They're gonna postpone it. By the time it comes time to actually do something about it, man, gonna be dead. And I do think though if he tries to run again in 2024, this is really going to be a huge hole in his campaign. This is going to be over his head, and rightfully so. It's going to hurt and should hurt, and he should not be reelected. You know, that right there literally hurt the nation. Whether you was rolling with him or not, right is right, wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
You if you think him endorsing what they did was great for the nation, you're a part of the problem.
Yeah.
So,
oh man, there's a lot of that going on, and you have to be careful, you know, in the comment section and everything, because there are some diehard Trumpers that firmly believe everything that he said. And I was watching, my wife and I was watching a documentary. It was on Hulu, and it was 24 hours. 24 hours on attack or something like that. It was about the January 6th insurrection, and they had a Black Lives Matter activist on the show on that documentary, and she said that when they had the Black Lives Matter rally back last year in August, September of last year, how they was down on Liberty Street, like 8 blocks down the road. They got nowhere near the Capitol, and they were able, and they had SWAT gear, they had everything. You know, riot gear, the National Guard, the whole 9 yards for this Black Lives Matter protest. But the day of the insurrectionists, they had nothing but Capitol Police, and they were overwhelmed. And these guys got to walking through the Capitol like it was there, and they kept chanting inside of the Capitol, "This is our house, our house, our house." And she was like, "That's way a double standard. They say that we can peacefully protest, but we can't do what they did."
And you know what the reason is for, man? I mean, come on, hey, need I say more? You know,
we still, but see, here's the thing, and I hate, but we still doing that though.
We still doing
we
that.
Really still doing that.
Still, I mean, it's and I hate to say Miss Little was right on this, because yeah, you absolutely right. I was banned on Facebook, I would say about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
For 30 days each.
Yeah.
For going at it with Trumpsters and the nation's capital. What happened then? I think I maybe had a full month of being on Facebook without being suspended. But you know, and because it riled me up, and a lot of what people say they do, they push buttons, and you know, now I can't even say a joke on Facebook without being suspended, which I can't stand it anyway. But it's cool. But going back to the point, these guys ride or die for Trump, like it was like he's their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Like, I don't get it. You don't even go to church and ride for Jesus like you do for Trump.
You do Donald Trump, yeah.
Like like he's you know, the disciple of a gang, and you gotta worship him somehow. I don't get why people do this. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. It bothers me a lot. It bothers me because all it is, he was just a celebrity in a chair. I've been seeing this since the day he got inaugurated. He was a celebrity in a chair. He just had a status quo, and that is it. He never really did crap when he was in. And the stuff that he did actually hurt when he took land from the Indians and gave it to the oil field. Hey, I was in the oil field. I know my brother suffered in the oil field, but we wouldn't, us fellas in the oil field, understand. And even my brothers over in Odessa, Texas, you know, shout out to them. We wouldn't want to take no land from anybody just so we can start drilling for oil. That's their sacred land. Let those people keep their land. This was taken. They had enough taken from them already. Why are we taking more? Why should we? It's very aggravating. It's a lot of stupidity that rolls with a lot of these Trumpsters.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was listening to something. I think I was reading an article or listening to watching a video or something, and somebody made a great point. And they said, white people don't have to hyphenate their stuff. It's like they're American. That's it, right? But everybody that's Black and people of color, they have to hyphenate their stuff, like African American, Mexican American, I think it was anti-wigs on TikTok. That's what
Indian American. Like, are
Indian
you
American,
kidding
Native,
me?
and what's worse, Native.
Yeah, Native American. Like, are you kidding me? They were here before you.
Yeah.
Before you invaded.
Yeah,
like,
they colonized
it. Here's man. I hate to do this black and white thing, man. I hate it. I really do, because the more we talk about black and white separation, it continues to potentially increase a division between the two. And I got so many white friends. I got, I'm half black, I'm half Mexican. But what it boils down to is that people will never know the struggle as black people, especially me being from the South, Mississippi, by the way. They will never know the struggle of what we have to endure and continue to endure. You've gone through this whole time. Like, for instance, going back to the Black Lives Matter riot. I mean, not riot, the whole movement.
Yeah.
They couldn't, like she said, in August, they went through this whole deal. They had police and everything already ready, prepared, SWAT, everything.
Yeah, they had nothing.
Granted, they didn't have enough time to get SWAT and everybody there, but still, had we done that, we'd been executed on spot. What do they get to do?
Oh, we wouldn't.
Around.
We going through the Capitol?
Put your feet. But they're not known. Here's a key thing of how we know it's a color thing.
Yeah, man.
They're not known as what? Terrorists. They created a terrorist crime on the Capitol.
Yeah. Yeah. Now
they're not going to be known as terrorists.
Let me tell you something. If Black Lives Matter had gotten to the Capitol, and this is my belief, and people ask me all the time, to tell you what, how do you speak on racism and things like that? Because you married to a white woman. I said, I ain't gonna do nothing.
No,
I married that woman because I love her and she loved me, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? She understands my plight as a black man, and that is the reason why I married her, because that's
a beautiful thing. Shout out to Melissa, man. That's a beautiful thing when you got a house. She's white, you're black, and there's this complete understanding in the middle, man. Love that woman.
And we have a disagreements. I mean, that's what married couples do. It don't have anything to do with the fact that I'm black and she's white. We disagree on stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's a lovely thing. I love her to death. She knows. But if had the Black Lives Matter folks got into the Capitol, they would have. You ever heard that old saying? They cut off their nose to spite their face. They would have blew that Capitol building up if it was been there. They would have blew it all the way up.
A nuclear bomb, and they'd have built a whole new White House.
Man, I'm telling you, listen, they would have called NORAD and the Air Force and rolled out the Bravo package on the Capitol building and blew that bitch. I mean, and it's just crazy and it's sad. But here's the thing: they have all this evidence against Trump, and just in that one special that I looked at, there were so many things that he said, and it went all the way back to the debate with Biden, and the narrator was like, "Hey, I need for you to denounce these hate groups," and he's like, "Which hate group? Which one you want me to talk? Which one you want me to denounce?" And he was like, "Okay, the Proud Boys." And he was like, and when he said "stand back and stand by," that was their marching order.
That was it.
You know what I'm saying? And some people don't understand that. But you can't tell a Trumper that, though. You can't tell somebody who supports Trump that's how it all started. Mm-hmm. And then you have all of these people that were having secret meetings. The Proud Boys president at the time, the Oath Keepers president and founder at the time, they met, underground. They had all this stuff planned. And you mean tell me you ain't got enough capital, you ain't got the SWAT, and you ain't got the National Guard there? It's crazy. The January 6th should have never happened.
They should have already had people on standby because of how important that day is. Yeah. Like, don't sit there and take it easy on people just because they're your skin color. Come on, man. Like, where's the justice and everything? I want justice for what happened on January 6th. I don't want anything less than years in prison or what should be done. I want justice. I want equal justice. They want we want equal less as much as equal rights. You punch. If a black man punches a police, we get years in prison. I want the same thing for a white man to go through. It's equalness up in that we've been preaching for years. We don't want anything less. We're not asking for much.
No, I mean, but as a people though, we've been asking for that. We've been asking for equal, and for some reason, we just won't get it. And it's sad. It's sad to me. You know, you got these unarmed kids being killed. You get unarmed black men is being killed, and it just doesn't make any sense. All right, Quinn, feel better, bro.
All right, thanks.
Well,
and
bro.
it's a shame. It's really a shame. And my fear is this: I have kids. I got two boys and a girl in this house, right? That and my son, who 5, autistic. You know, he goes to a special school. You know what I'm saying? My fear is that a maniac is going to go in there, you know, and do what that dude did down there about you.
I mean, and again, like I said in our last video or in our other video about the school shooting, we used to be able to say it was a white guy that goes into schools and shoot. This guy ended up being Mexican, you know, half of my descent because I am half Mexican. It really sucks. And I mean, mental illness has no discrimination on what happens in your head. I understand that. But again, we can still go back and say, you don't see any black folks doing it. All right. We're not gonna go up in the school and shoot up kids. What we do need to do is stop, you know, just like the last episode that we had, we need to stop hating on each other. We need to start loving one another. We need to start loving our community more. And maybe, just maybe, if we were able to actually come together as a community, black community, I think this racism and everything that is happening will tend to die down. The stronger we are as a community, the stronger we are, the less that they can divide us, and the less that they can play with us, the less that they can fuck with us, the less that they can even touch us. And then I think it'll be able to be down. And then maybe we can even get along together from there, because powerhouses with powerhouses tend to, you know, or what did they say? Steel sharpens steel.
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. Hey, I think the same thing can happen. But nothing will happen until we, as a community, as a black community, actually come together, start loving one another. This race thing could actually down a little bit.
Listen to you sound like Morgan Freeman right now when you said that. Listen to I know this guy. He's been on this show before, Felix Anderson, and he said, "Iron sharpens iron, but you cannot get sharp hanging around butter knife people."
I love that saying too. I remember that. Whoo.
You just can't. And
this man dropped nuggets on that show.
Yeah.
Man, if we still have that, can we re-upload that somehow?
I got it somewhere. I gotta find it.
that dude had some knowledge. That's a guy that I would actually. Those are the type of people I love to have in my corner. You know, when I need some knowledge, I go back, like my brother Pete, who's been on this show. I go back when we naturally talk. I actually gravitate and I pull some nuggets from him every now and then, and I put that in my manifest. I put that in my life to play. And that brother, man, that brother was within that 1 hour, man. I hope people were taking notes.
Yeah,
he took me to school on that day.
I mean, and you know. My thing is, as black people, we don't support. It's just like we talked about last week, you know, about supporting each other. We ain't gonna do that, man. No. We don't want to do that. We don't want to get along with each other. It's easier. It's easier to fight.
Yeah,
it's easier to fight them over.
It hurts to watch it happen.
Yeah,
but we participate in it, following that.
Yeah,
and hey, Evelyn, it's very frustrating because I fight the good fight, or I at least try. I've always supported. Before you started the Knucklehead Chronicle podcast, I supported you and would jump on whenever I could. And this is beside podcast because I support black businesses. I've supported Mexican businesses. And these are the smaller ends, not the HEB locations or the high-end Mexican restaurants or the black restaurants. No, the local restaurants and the local people deserve love. And there's this guy that would actually say when you give your dollar to a high-end value, you're giving it to the quote unquote white man's contribution.
Mm-hmm.
And the small ends, these minority businesses tend to tank. The more you give them your money, the less that these businesses tank, and they got pretty much the same products. So why not support them? Why can we get an even balance? But we will never support each other enough. Not even enough. Why can't we do that? Why can't we, Terry?
I mean, that's a question I've been asking myself for 47 years, brother. It's not going to change now. Listen, it's just like, here's an example of that. TikTok has over 40 billion users or whatever the count is now. I mean, they have so many people that are using the app. However, people that are on the app know that TikTok is suppressing content, black content creators, and all of that content. They're suppressing it, and unless you're doing the juke for massa, that's the only way you're successful on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
So there's this guy on TikTok. He left TikTok, started his own app called Blam Plan. So it's the same exact app, or I take that back. It has similarities to TikTok, but it's for black content creators.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I actually have the app on my phone. If you're an iPhone owner, you have to be iPhone until you get it right now. But it's called Blam Plan. It's just like TikTok, but it's for black content creators. And so what TikTok did, once TikTok found out that this guy was doing an app of the same sort, they started suppressing his content.
So, and this is just a question. And for anybody, Evelyn, Melissa, if you're still watching, anybody, Ben, if you're watching as well from the BS3 network, anybody there, do you think behind the scenes, right? Behind the scenes, the higher ups, right? When we start to focus, when they see black people start to focus, do you think they shift their gears to say, oh, well, let's dangle a little something in front of them to take their, so we can find a way to knock them back down? As in, like the TikTok, they see us getting big and whatnot, and then let's dangle this in front of them. Let's put up some type of creation in front of them and let them fight amongst each other to tear each other down. You think they do that? You think that's a real thing?
Yeah. They do that all the time. It's just like, here's the case in point just happened. When everything was going on and we were trying to, they dangled Johnny Depp and Amber Heard in front of us. So guess what we did? Because we like drama, we got enthralled, and it took our eye completely off the ball, right? And so that's the reason. And then we lose ground, and then we wonder why we lose ground, because we're too focused on everything else. We want to, who cares about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? We talked about it on this show because it was hilarious. It was just two folks who were toxic to each other. They got money. It was funny, right? But legit though, there are some folks that really took all of that stuff literal, and they were enthralled with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they took their eyes totally off the ball, and they missed the mark.
Yeah,
and so everything it's sad. It's sad. Morgan Freeman, and I made this point earlier. Morgan Freeman said about racism that the only way to get rid of racism is to stop talking about it. That's what he said.
I remember he said it. It was on I think if I'm not mistaken, it was a show like kind of like a podcast when he said it. And I actually, how I feel about that, I don't think that we would be able. If you talk about racism less, I see his point. I get it. But if we talk less about racism,
no, you see his point. You gotta tell me how you see this point. I don't see his point.
Okay. Well, let's switch to what he said. All right. So when he said the less we talk about it, the more that it'll go away. That's pretty much what he was saying.
Okay.
I see that in a small tense. I give them 10%, and I say 10% out of 100 is when you stop talking, and like when you stop looking for something, you lose the remote control. Let's use that as an example. And you stop looking for it, you naturally find it. And that's what I'm thinking that coincides together. You lose your remote control, and you like, I give up after hours and hours of looking for it. You gave up. Then you find it later on in its natural spot, and you're like, well, hell, I think that's what he's thinking that could happen. If we stop talking about it, they will say, oh, well, to hell with it all. Let's all come together. It's not going to happen. And I agree with you. It's not going to happen.
No.
But like I said, if we prime example of what I'm thinking of, and this is great. I'm glad I just thought of it. Do you see how have you ever been around Puerto Ricans? I know you've been around Mexican people. Have you been around Puerto Ricans? Have you seen their culture? If not, check it out. They ride for each other.
Yeah,
they have each other's back. Mexican people, it's a culture. Now, when I went to Mexico, I used to go to Mexico a lot to visit my mom's side of the family. The neighbors 10 blocks down will ride for your side of the street. What you need, they got. They take community, their Mexican pride, they take that and they make it an actual culture. I think if we were to actually, like I said, if we were to actually focus, come together, and be a strong, united Black community, we'd be up in the higher ranks, just like them. Of where, hey, you can't touch us, you can't fuck with us. We together, I don't know your family,
right.
Terry. I don't know your family over there on the East Coast, but guess what? I'm around for them.
Yeah.
And they have this thing. I know you've heard it, and I know you watch wrestling. What did Eddie Guerrero say? Viva la raza.
Yeah, he said that.
Exactly. That's an actual saying, and they take it, and it's an actual. They will ball that as a fist, and they would pound their chest for their nation, for they peeps. But we ourselves can't fucking do that. Just like that dude said in the video, we would rather tear each other fucking down than do this. And this is how this Trump shit. People know, like you said, that's why I asked you that question. They were dangling in front of us when Trump got inaugurated. He dangled in front of us and said, just like he called Black NFL football players bastards. Dangled. I mean, he was just waiting for his moment, to ride and say, "Hey, fuck y'all, folks."
Well, Donald Trump was a gaslighter from jump. That's what he did. That's
from jump. But
they fell for it. We fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And the reason why I think people love Donald Trump the way they did or do is because Donald Trump would say stuff, and it didn't matter. And even if it was a bald-faced lie, it didn't matter. And people just ate up, what he said, and what he said was gospel. Yeah. It's just like on January the 6th, after the insurrection happened or started happening, and it was starting to get worse. He did nothing. He sent 2 tweets that day.
That's all it took.
And then he was like, oh, telling people to go home in peace, Dude, by the time you even did that, I mean, and he did a video like at 4 or 5 o'clock that afternoon. This is after the insurrection. This is after they done stormed the Capitol. They done shot Ashley Babbitt. They done did everything. This is went nuclear.
There's a video. There's a video of him of what you're saying. There's a video of him actually watching people do that. And instead of him going on TV and say, hey, stop that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't terrorize our nation's capital.
Yeah.
He endorsed that shit.
But he incited it though.
Yeah,
he incited it. I'm not sure why they did not. Let me tell you something. If I was a congressperson or a senator on the floor, January the 6th, I would have invoked the 25th, and he'd have been gone. That's
exactly
just me.
Based on that, he should be in prison because if I'm a congressman and I was in that White House, they had to evacuate everybody from that White House because They were coming for you.
Yeah.
They weren't coming to just terrorize the White House.
Yeah.
They were coming for you. Some people had a noose. Some people had weapons on them.
Yeah.
Some people were looking for something to have just to use as a weapon.
Right.
They were coming to put your life in danger, maybe even hold you hostage.
Yeah.
Just because they didn't get what they want, just because he didn't win. Yet, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Like this, when they dangled that, and that's why I tried to bring it back to Trump, from what I was saying earlier. When he would drop racial bombs, we would, as a black community, decided to come together just for a small time.
Mm-hmm.
How come we can't do that all the time? How come we can't stand the front for everybody? I don't care what gang you in. You're a Vice Lord, you're a Crip, you're a Blood. All of us should be coming together. Nipsey Hussle actually put that in motion when he was on the West Coast, when he was alive on the West Coast. He was putting that in motion. And he brought black communities together. He didn't care what gang you were in. But we still can't seem to get our shit together, man. And just like that dude in that video, that's why I love that video so much. I've actually watched that dude's that actual podcast video twice. Because it's so strong, it's so powerful. That dude could actually have a voice in the black community the way that he sounds.
But we don't want no leader. We don't want a leader.
We don't, man. Why? Let me ask you that, Terry. Why? How come we don't want a leader?
Because there will always be somebody who thinks they're better than them. There will always be somebody who thinks, well, he'd been who died and left him leader. Yeah. You know, what makes him what did he got? I ain't got. You know, that's kind of it's sad. That's just that crab in the barrel type mentality. And until we see, the only time I believe, and anybody that's watching probably can agree or not agree. The only way that we'll be able to make any kind of changes is we first have to look at ourselves in the mirror and change ourselves. Until that happens, nothing will change ever. Racism won't go away. You know, the desire to want different will always be there. But until we change the way we think about stuff and how we move about stuff, it ain't gonna change. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's sad. And that's what, you know, some people, me personally, Terry, I had to, 47 years old, I had to finally grow up one day. And I had to change my mindset. Like, I don't want that anymore. I don't want to be, you know, homeless anymore. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be emotional. I don't want to be none of that. You know what I'm saying? Until we want change for real, we're going to have to change the way we think and move. But, I mean, you look at cities like Chicago. You look at cities like Memphis, that are predominantly black, but lead the nation in murders. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about that kind of thing. And until people are willing to say, I am tired of burying my child or my child's friends or my whatever, I'm tired of seeing it. But until we do that, it'll never change. The old saying goes, about history will repeat itself. And there's nothing changing. History will repeat itself every single time. And it pains me as a black man to see and watch the news every day. And you see shootings, and you see, you know, Memorial Weekend up in Chicago, 47 people I think got shot. 8 people died. I mean, for what? You know, you walk on the wrong side of the seat, wrong side of the street on the south side of Chicago, over there in Inglewood. You get messing around, and you on the wrong side of Sangamon after 7 o'clock. You making your shot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what? It's crazy.
It's and I always tell my kids I'm blessed.
Thank you, Evan. That's good.
That is great. That was great. I'm blessed to have been grown and raised in the time frame. I'm an 85 baby. And I'm blessed to have been raised around some old heads. You know, my family who raised me old school. In the hood, we had some old heads that would actually tell help keep you out of trouble or try. Nowadays, we ain't got those OGs or old heads around no more. You know, so that is gone away. But we got to find another. There's got to be a different way that we can actually find, you know, ways to actually get better as a black community. We got to, man.
Yeah,
We had a leader back in the day. Don't mean we need a leader today. And now in today's society, I don't see it happening. But we gotta find. There's got to be a way to actually say, "Hey, this shit ain't working, man." Like I don't know when we gonna wake up. Just like you said, I don't know when we gonna wake up and slap ourselves or punch ourselves in the face or in the mouth. Say, "Hey, I'm tired of bleeding. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of us just, as a black community. Look, it just hurts my heart, man. How many times we gonna bury our cousins, friends, family members over some job, over some bull job, just because you wore a different shirt or a different color shirt or shoes or and even back." And I guarantee you, these kids don't even know the history of gangs of how Crips and Bloods actually started.
Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know. They joined just because somebody else joined.
All right, check this out. Hold on, Kevin. Check this out. All right, so everybody who's watching this show, that's watching. I got 3 people in here. I'm not sure who's watching on BS3 Network on Roku. I'm not sure who's watching, but if you're able to comment and you're ready to listen to this, if you can hear this question, I'm going to get ready to ask. I want you to put your answer in the comments. Okay, I'm going to ask it and I'm going to wait 30 seconds and wait to see if anybody going to respond. Okay, now in the concept of these kids and the gangs and everything, you got Crips, Bloods, Vice Lords, whatever the GDs, all that in Chicago. Who is Tookie Williams? Wait, just who? Anybody out there in the video land that can comment to that question? Who is Tookie Williams? And this is going to tell you, and the people that answer, if anybody answers, you will know their age demographic.
Let me see if I can pull up the BS3 network right quick. See if there's anybody commenting on that.
Who took it? Who took it in? All right. I'm gonna wait for that because we got a couple more minutes before we go. We have to be out, but yeah, don't nobody see young folk. These babies don't know nothing about the history.
And
when they created these gangs, they did it to help the community. That's how when they started Crips, Bloods, it was because they helped the community. It wasn't violent. It wasn't about fights. It was about none of that, right? It was about helping the community. Somehow, some bad apples got up in that piece, and that's just how Evelyn, the Black Panther Party, same thing. It was about the community. But before it was over, history said that the Black Panther Party were savages. And we wanted war. We wanted this. No. We just wanted equality. We've always wanted that.
We've fought for equality for years. And just recently, there's still some laws out there. If y'all don't know, there's still some laws like in Mississippi that are actually built against the Black community. There's still some laws out there. Google them. I'm not going to tell you. There's actually one that will shock you in the state of Mississippi. There's two. There's two that will shock you and give you a heart attack in Missouri. And if you go a little bit more south, North Carolina, South Carolina, there's some racial laws that will blow your mind. And because we have not said anything about them, they're not going to change those laws. And the reason why they're not going to change those laws is because it costs money.
Yeah, it's easy to keep them on the books too. I mean, you think about this here in Missouri, where I reside, they still have what they call sundown towns here in Missouri. And if those of you who don't know what a sundown town is, if you are a Black person and if you are in a certain town, you had to be out of that town by sundown. If not, they're not responsible for what happens. You made it out that city or that town after sundown. So, and there's still some towns like that here in Missouri. It's kind of up in the boot, in the hills or whatever. But there's still some towns here in Missouri that's like that. But for those, nobody commented on who Tookie Williams was. Okay, so Tookie Williams was the founder of the Crips, right? Or was it the Bloods? Yep, it was the
Crips.
And so Tookie was a big boy, bro. He did it for the community. It wasn't about violence, nothing like that. This is how Tookie was treated. When they got ready to kill him, when they got ready to execute him, right? It took them 4 hours to kill him because he wouldn't die. They tried to give him the lethal injection. The needle broke twice. So they tried to kill him. I mean, so just a trivia question. Did anybody ever want to know who Tookie Williams is? But listen, we're gonna get out of here. I want to thank everybody that came through, commented. My honey, I know she's downstairs waiting for me to get off her thing so she can go and do whatever she's got to do. Thank you, BS3, Ben, all you guys. Thank you, Quinn, in Quinn's absence. I know he wasn't feeling good. Also, E. Digger, who was under the weather as well. Thank you for coming, for being part. Kel, thank you for your time. Appreciate you for coming on here. Hey, I thought not. Or Evelyn said, "Hey, I answered, but though not fully correct, but I answered."
Yeah, she did.
She did. I didn't see the crypts up there. Okay.
Okay. She. That's why she
Oh,
said she didn't
I
answer
see it
fully
now.
correct.
I see it down. Executed for having a strong Titus brotherhood, but with executed for murder. Yeah, exactly. That's who Tookie was. Yeah. But you guys stay tuned. Be here next week. We have another great topic. Hopefully, we'll have the whole gang here. But everybody's under the weather. You know, y'all pray for E. Digger and y'all pray for Quinn. He's sick as well. You guys have a great rest of your day. Have an awesome week ahead, and we'll see you guys next Sunday.